before we talk about season 4 of Harley Quinn, the animated series, um, just want to recommend this comic book series. I did finish it before starting season 4. This is Harley Quinn Legion of Bats. It's in the same universe as the series. It takes place between season 3 and season 4. It's pretty fun. It's not as it's still fun. It's not as great as the series but it's a good time if you want to spend some extra time with Harl and Ivy. There's a lot of cute moments with them in drawn out in comic book form. But it's kind of inconsequential what happens in the series. It's just a fun little side ventures. But yeah, if you want more, check out there's like another series. There's another like mini series, the Eat Bang Kill Tour or something, that released before season 3, between season 2 and 3. And there's like another special that happened at some point. So there's a lot of that going around. And I imagine there'll be another series coming out soon-ish before the next season. For all of us hungry for more Harl and Ivy. But on to the main attraction. So we're gonna, I guess, speed through a bunch of these episodes. I'm just gonna give my general thoughts on what I thought of the season, I guess, and then maybe talk more about the finale. Yeah, that's what I think I'll do. So we're gonna scroll through this. So yeah, season 4. Harley joins the Bat family, and Ivy becomes the head of the Legion of Doom. And of course she has to deal with all these silly, nasty men in the Legion of Doom. And Harley has to figure out, is she a good guy? Is she a bad guy? Is she something in between? That's kind of like the whole thing of the whole series. And overall, I like the season. Season 3 is probably a little better, but I am liking these seasons when Harley and Ivy are actually together, because the first 2 seasons it was just they were just friends, and it kind of sucks that it took a while for them to get together, but they did. And it's kind of thing where like this show is it feels at home when it's about their connection. When it's about them being together and figuring things out together versus them just being friends on a crew. So it's kind of, I don't even know if I want to. I mean, I probably will revisit the first 2 seasons at some point, but I'd rather just kind of just watch season 3 and forward, right? But yeah, so let's just scroll through these. We got some funny stuff. This show is just nonstop funny little gags. Sometimes it's like even too much, too many jokes at once. Like I have to like pause it and then rewind because like the jokes are just flying in and out, which is fine. Like, and it's hard. Like they hardly miss too. It's like it's always some good stuff. And the characters, each character is just great. Even like Nora here, she's like kind of a new funny character in this season. Just kind of like, I guess, the secretary, the assistant for the Legion of Doom. And then the whole thing about Alfred is funny too. He like goes to jail. Let me put the spoiler tag up, by the way, in case anyone comes in here. He goes to jail because Batman's in jail now, and he can't live without Batman, right? So the whole thing about this season is something that I found a little bit maybe repetitive between this season and last season. I think is the whole idea of Harley and Ivy struggling to communicate and keeping secrets from each other, all that type of stuff. Like, it's maybe a little bit repetitive, but overall, it's still fine. I'm still enjoying watching them struggle together through their own like issues, their own like side stories, and then them coming together. Here we have the birth sequence with the King Shark and his wife. I forgot the name of that character. There wasn't that much Clayface in this season. This is like the episode where we see most of Clayface. But it's okay, because I kind of was a little bit getting tired of Clayface, his whole character. So I didn't mind that he wasn't too much in this season. It was a lot of Bat Family though. It was a big Bat Family season. And I'm all for the Bat Family. Like, I could use, I wish they would do more Bat Family stuff in the live action, if I'm being honest. And then Lex Luthor's the main bad guy. He was a good bad guy. Like, the cool thing at this point of season 4 is that, like, Joker is now, like, in the background almost. Like, he's no longer the main baddie, which is fine because we've had so much Joker content over the years. It's like, let's not give him any more spotlight, right? And I think this show, especially in the last few episodes, belittles Joker to, a point where he kind of deserves, and like, I don't think the show would have been as good if the season would have been as good if it focused more on Joker. Because at this point, Harley has moved on from him. I think by the end it's the first season she moved on, really, right? But I think in season 3 or something there was a whole episode about Joker and his family and him trying to be good and becoming mayor. I felt like that was maybe a low point of that season. So I'm glad they like focused more on Lex this time as the main bad guy. And then the whole the CEOs, the women CEOs, Talia al Ghul, Veronica Lake, I think her name is. There's this scene. And like the whole like women CEO team was interesting. It was funny. And so like the main thing about Ivy here in this season is that, which I find was pretty cool, is that she becomes the CEO of LexCorp, right? Or actually not LexCorp, Legion of Doom, and the whole trajectory of her character is like, okay, she's gonna be, the girl boss, where her idea is like, okay, let's make a consciously evil, but it kind of corporation or kind of Legion of Doom, where we're conscious about what we do, and we like, I guess she wants to go after all the the fossil fuel industry, all the like the polluters. She's all into like green stuff. Of course, she's like eco-terrorist and stuff. So that's something that was interesting, but I was concerned that where are they going with it? Are they going to have her at the end of the season succeed and be like just a female version of Lex Luthor? Nope. They decided, which I think is a good thing. It's like, no, the story is that actually it's not good to be the female version of Lex Luthor. It's actually better to fight from the outside, and it ends with like them realizing that like maybe it's not good to try to change things from the inside and try to be this girl boss in the Legion of Doom, and instead take it down and do your own thing, because that's really what those characters are. Harley Quinn and Ivy, they're all about doing things their way and not really bowing down to the other supervillains or joining their teams and stuff. So I thought like that was a good message in the end, because I was worried it was just going to be all about Ivy becoming a girl boss and Harley becoming, I guess, part of the Bat family. But she realizes, nope, she's not a hero. She's, I guess, an anti-hero. But she says she's at the end of the final episode, which we'll get to it, I guess. We might as well just get to the final episode. She says she's Harley Quinn. She's not a hero. Oh, this is a cool sequence. They go in the future and they see that they have a daughter. It's like a mix between, it's like a green version of Harley Quinn, a mix between Ivy and Harley. And of course the daughter betrays them. But they're still happy that they're proud that they have this like cool daughter, smart daughter who is this leader of the post-apocalyptic world. But she turns out to be a meanie, and they do beat her up, so it's just kind of hilarious. This whole sequence I could have done without the Bane in Italy sequence. Like that was just a running gag with the whole pasta maker jokes from like earlier seasons. He has to go to Italy to fix the pasta maker, and he ends up learning how to make pasta. But luckily that was just like one major scene in one episode, really. So we're near the end, and then the whole clone sequence. Harley gets the clone, and here's where really the climax of the season occurs here, right? So she finds out that she's the one who killed Nightwing, because Nightwing turns up dead. But what's funny is that there's actually a moment here where we see, is it her doppelganger in the background, or is that at a certain point we see another Harley like looking on? Is that Harley? Is that in her memory and she's like remembering and she sees herself there, or is that the clone? Is it really the clone that killed Nightwing? It's not quite clear, because look, she's over here looking. So there's like a third Harley over that way. So I don't know. I think that it's really her clone that killed Nightwing, is my suspicion. But I think she's still at this point, and I think even at the end of the season, she thinks she's the one who killed Nightwing. right, so let's get to the final episode. So Harley is actually trying to kill Joker, but she can't quite kill him because she's not entirely evil. And here's the culmination of the whole women CEO storyline, where basically, Talia al Ghul's goal here is that, oh yeah, let's be disruptive a little bit and gain some power, and then keep the status quo and go back to how things are. It's okay that Lex again is doesn't suffer any consequences for his actions. They're not, it's all like, it's not about changing things. It's about just being rich, and having the power that they have, and not really taking over from the men, but just like being part of their clan, being part of the rich villains, whether they're men or not. And Ivy's like, no, we should change things. We have this power. We should actually make things better, And so she kind of learns her lesson there. Or like, no, this isn't about Ivy becoming the ruler of the Legion of Doom, because that's, you can't really change things from within the Legion of Doom. You gotta dismantle Legion of Doom. You gotta abolish the system and rebuild. So in that way, this season and this show is kind of a lot more revolutionary than it comes across in in the earlier seasons, or than I thought, really. I mean they're not like explicitly revolutionaries, but they're definitely advocating for fighting for outside the system and not from within. Is this the one where they go? Oh yeah, they go to the moon, right, to the party, because Lex absorbs Superman's powers. And here we have the moment where it's like, okay, it's no longer really about keeping things from each other or such and such. Now they've kind of like opened themselves up to each other, and now it's about encouragement. Now their love story is really about, let's encourage each other and get through this together, And so instead of so then they go and get the laser that Lex built to bring the sun back to Earth, pretty much. And what's interesting here, oh, by the way, the previous episode, Batgirl was shot by Joker. So actually, let's go back to that. So anyone who's followed the DC comics and movies and stuff and knows a story about Batgirl, pretty much that, was it back in the late 80s, in the comic books at least, Batgirl was shot by Joker, and that's how she became paralyzed, and that's how she became Oracle, which is like, she started using a wheelchair, and she just started being like the woman in a chair who like hacks everything and helps the other heroes via her Oracle moniker, using her hacking skills and computer skills to help out the heroes. And in this series, that hasn't happened yet, right? She's been just regular old Batgirl fighting crime like usual, right? And in the comic series, it was a bit controversial, really. The whole issue where basically Joker shows up at Jim Gordon's door, Barbara answers, and he shoots her. And there's even like it's pretty gruesome. There's like implied rape and stuff, because like he takes pictures of her and stuff, and I think she's naked or something at some point, and then Joker humiliates Gordon by kidnapping him and showing those pictures to him. It's like it's similar to the whole fridging trope, but the idea of like hurting this female hero or this female character in order to progress the story of a male character. In that case, it was Jim Gordon, her father. So I was a bit wary about the idea of like them doing something like that in this series. Like, how are they actually gonna do that? Is that maybe Batgirl should just stay like Batgirl the whole series, and maybe she shouldn't be in a wheelchair? But then people understandably find the Oracle character as inspiring, as someone to look up to, as representation for people in wheelchairs. So here, though, she's not really injured for the benefit of another character, really. Maybe you could say Harley's in place of Jim Gordon here. But the thing is that, like, luckily Batgirl has been a pivotal character in this whole series, so it's not like she's not like a side character in a story about Joker and stuff. So she does have more depth here in this story. And the thing is that Harley's main growth point here is more about her and her clone, and her like coming to terms with who she is as a hero versus an anti-hero and stuff like that. So it's not. I don't think the shooting of Batgirl here is that egregious, that bad of a thing compared to how it was originally done. And of course, there's no humiliation. There's no photo takings. There's no. Her father isn't really part of the picture here during this moment. I guess gonna get to it at some point. It's like the cliffhanger of this episode. And I guess Joker's idea was like, the thing is that Harley supposedly killed Nightwing, right? Her clone or her killed Nightwing, and Joker wanted to take the credit for it, but I think Batgirl herself actually revealed during a podcast Joker was on that he in fact was not the killer of Nightwing. And so now Joker's like, I gotta kill I gotta kill a Bat family member, to get my villain cred up. And that's what he does there. And then, fortunately, the show is, the writers are good enough to actually just treat Joker as a joke and humiliate him in the following episode. So instead of Jim Gordon and Barbara Gordon being humiliated, we're gonna humiliate the Joker because he's the real asshole here, right? And so Harley actually takes Joker to this moon party on a leash, which was pretty funny. But yeah, so where were we at over here? Okay, so then Batgirl becomes Oracle in this episode, and she, from the hospital bed, I guess, uses her computer skills to hack into Lex's moon rover here and disable it, and then basically helps them win the day here. That's Zuckerberg on that windshield there. They do a lot of jokes relating to real life. Zuckerberg is one of the villains on this moon part in this moon base. And so basically they're working together. It's almost kind of like a birds of prey situation with Oracle helping out. I don't even think she calls herself Oracle yet, but she probably will be in the next season. So, you know, and then Batman's like, okay, the world needs Batman now that Harley and Ivy basically destroy all the corporations, the evil corporations from these supervillains with that laser. Batman's like, okay, the world needs Batman now, and he just calls in a favor for a senator or something, and he gets out while Alfred is being put into the same prison. But just as he comes in, Bruce Wayne exits, and Bruce Wayne's like, whatever, I got a ride, and doesn't even realize that his butler's in jail now. And so here we have the tease for the next season, which is pretty interesting because it looks like Catwoman's coming in again. She's been kind of out of the picture in this season, although they've been staying at her apartment. The whole deal here is that someone stole Nightwing's corpse. Who could it be? And of course, the casket has a butt print on it, or mold of Nightwing's butt, because that's his greatest asset, right? So Catwoman joins the picture, and like last season ended with Harley joining the Bat family. Now this season, at the end of this season, she's out of the Bat family, and now she's joining another team. Barbara here, Batgirl, Oracle suggest let's call ourselves the Birds of Prey, you know, because in the comics, she's like one of the leaders of the Birds of Prey. She with who is it? Black Canary and a bunch of different Huntress, and it's different. And if you see the live action movie, it's kind of like that, right? Where she helps, you know, from a wheelchair, from her hacking computers, to help them out. But then it's funny because Catwoman's like, wait, no one here is bird related. Why would we call ourselves Birds of Prey? And they go with the Gotham City Sirens, which is a much cooler name, and also the name of a comic book series, which I have read a bit of, and I do intend to finish, that stars Harley, Ivy, and Catwoman as the Gotham City Sirens, where they team up and they go on adventures, right? As criminals. Which is pretty exciting because, like, that's just an amazing team up, right? How can you say no to Harlivy with Catwoman as an anti-heroine team up, right? And I do really hope at some point in my lifetime there's going to be a live action version, and you know, James Gunn's the head of the current DCEU for the live action DC movies, and he hasn't spoken about Harley Quinn or Ivy or Catwoman, to that matter. Hasn't spoken about them at all. But maybe down the line, you know, especially because I think he likes the series, because it's and the HBO execs and all those big wigs over there are are greenlighting this series. So they like the series apparently, and it's making, I guess it's pretty popular too. So I imagine we will get the Gotham City Sirens in live action sometime in the future, which would be really cool. But in the meantime, we're gonna get it in the series, which is awesome. It's pretty fun. I am excited about that. So yeah, so that's like pretty much the tease for what's going forward. Gotham City Sirens. And I guess in this version, Oracle will be part of the Sirens as well. Maybe we'll get some other cool characters coming up next season. Maybe Huntress will show up. And then the big reveal at the end here is that Talia al Ghul may be a villain in the next season, it seems, because she's got her son Damian, who's the third Robin, here at their base with the that green pool, the Lazarus Pit, I think it's called, the Lazarus Pit, where Nightwing comes out of, because they resurrected him. What do you know? Heroes don't stay dead in comic book stories, right? So they're reviving Nightwing, and he's angry about Harley because Harley killed him, right? Or was it Harley's clone? We'll find out next season, I guess, which hopefully won't take too long. It was kind of surprised that season 4 came out this quickly, only a year after season 3, because I think season 3 came out like 2 or 3 years after season 2. But with this writer's strike and all, it may take a while. But so yeah, it's exciting because basically in the comic books, when you think of one of the Robins coming out of Lazarus Pit, you think of Red Hood, you think of Jason Todd, which was the second Robin. Nightwing is the first Robin. And there is no mention of Jason Todd or Red Hood in this series, I don't think. Was he in earlier seasons? I don't remember him. It's actually been a while since I watched the first few seasons, so. But it looks like they're taking that story and they're placing it on Nightwing this time. So yeah, that is season 4 of Harley Quinn, the animated series. Really, probably the best adult animated TV show right now. I know people like that Star Trek show Lower Decks. I haven't seen it, so I'm sure someone can debate me on that. But I'm really digging this series. It's just so nice to see a DC story, a cartoon story that doesn't take itself too seriously, that it's just actually funny, because nowadays, especially in live action, well, maybe not so much with James Gunn around, but definitely with Matt Reeves' Batman, and Joker and all that. It's all super serious, all gloomy and stuff. And sometimes you just want to see some campy, funny stuff. Maybe we should lean more towards Tim Burton. Maybe we should lean more towards the Batman and Robin movie with Clooney in it as Batman. Maybe something in between those two. I think maybe Alan Moore said it, the best Batman is Adam West, because that TV series, they didn't take itself seriously, because superheroes are just inherently kind of silly, so it's fun to see DC poking fun at itself, and I think this TV series does a really good job at that. And yeah, maybe season 3 I would probably rank a little bit higher than season 4. But overall, like, I just, I love hanging out with these versions of Harley and this version of Poison Ivy. And it's just nice to see, a story where they're, an official couple, and, it's not a big deal really. It's just part of their characters, and so, it's fun and cute to see. And a good old time. But we'll see where it goes. I'm hoping they release another comic book tie-in. I'm hoping these freaking execs and producers can get their heads out of their asses and pay the writers a fair deal, the actors a fair deal as well. Apparently they're coming to the table to negotiate with the writers next week, but who knows how that's gonna go. They've come to the table to negotiate before, and that led to nothing. So I don't know. It's all hellish over there in Hollywood. But yeah, overall, if you haven't watched it, you should probably watch Harley Quinn. It's a fun time. And it's like the jokes are current, are topical, and they're not cringe or anything. It's actually, it's not always 100%, but it's like 95% amazing, and that's good enough. What else can you expect, So yeah, that is Harley Quinn.